Nobody's talking about how the hookup culture is literally the most toxic place there is. So, this is me when I was deep in this culture, thought that this is what you're supposed to do in college and this is what's fun. I would literally cry every single night because I was so depressed. I was addicted to lust, addicted to literally getting my fulfillment from using guys. But then would go home and literally bawl my eyes out every single time. It is so toxic, but so many people are saying that this is like normal and this is like what this society, culture, whatever, that is what we do. And it is literally so empty. Like, I can't. I really can't.
It's too late!
All right, guys, I wanted to address this thing today. I see a bunch of stuff from, the Red Pill community, all these other communities, and talking about like relationship issues and bringing both perspectives to the table. I love to hear both perspectives on the same situation, especially relationships, because I'm in a strong, successful relationship for several years. And it's interesting hearing how the culture of dating has changed drastically in just a couple years, especially with the advent of apps when it comes to dating, hookup. So there's like a whole generation of younger people who are, this is what they're born into. They don't do the normal dating scene, dating thing. Rather, it's, they get to a certain age, they hop on the app, and like that's their dating experience, which is ruining a whole generation of men and women. It goes both ways. It really messes with these people. But this young girl, she's admitting it. She's admitting the truth, and she's ahead of the curve on a lot of people. Wisdom hit her a lot sooner than it had to, rather than getting to 30 or 40 and then realizing like, all of this is just empty. It's all empty and it all means nothing. And everything that you've, strived for and you attempted to fulfill, it all added up to nothingness. And she's admitting it. And I wanted to talk about something here because I've heard it before. So I wanted to look it up. Psychology Today. So it talks about sex and orgasms, right? Men report on average 95% of them, when they have a sexual encounter, 95% of men are having an orgasm, which makes sense. I mean, like, we've got one button, you work at it long enough, you press it, boom, we win. Right? But when it comes to women, right, there's a whole bunch of other things that have to be factored in. The mood has to be perfect. She has to feel confident. She has to feel comfortable. She has to make sure that she's in the, right position, right angle. All these other buttons are being pressed at the same time, and then hopefully she gets there. So in the same article, Psychology Today, 95% of men are having orgasms during sex, right? Well, 50 to 70% of females are having an orgasm. In other words, when a woman, women in these hookup culture, men, they're getting their rocks off like, almost 100% of the time. 5%, maybe they're too drunk, maybe they're too nervous, maybe, whatever the factor is, but like just something's not right for the dude, right? 95. So only 5% of the dudes are like failing to get off. 50 to 70% of the women, that means half the women out there who are going out there having these experiences are not having orgasms. They hook up one night, they hook up immediately, that, it's fun, it's exciting. Like, the dude, he's getting his game on, he's getting his rocks off, he's having, the experience that he's looking for. That's what we're out there for. What are these girls out here looking to accomplish? I want to hear it from a girl's perspective, because like 50% of the time you're having an orgasm with a dude, that's like it's a 50-50 shot. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. That's a little crazy, because it's like, well, then what's the point? What's the point of, hooking up? What's the point of playing all these games, which makes, your brain gets toxic playing these games of like, will he, won't he, does he not? Will he ghost me? Will he text me? I really like him. I don't like him. I'll have fun tonight, but never again. Like, it's pretty crazy that a person would put themselves through that psychological, mind game to get into a relationship, or at least a moment where they might not get with their, they might or might not get their rocks off. They might or might not have fun, at the end of it. So what? The dude's done. She's just laying there like, woo, what a great time and experience. Thanks for coming over, buddy. Is she just amped up and then let down? Like, How does that feel? Sheesh. So I don't know. She's not the only one. I mean, there's a whole generation of women out there who are destroying themselves emotionally, adding a bunch of baggage to themselves. And then for what? For what? Because society somewhere, women have convinced her, feminists have convinced them that like hookup culture is the bee's knees, like, you know, and they're 1 in 4 women are on antidepressants. You can look it up. HuffPost has a friggin' article on it, right? 1 in 4 women has, you know, antipsychotics or antidepressants, one of those, right? These women are driving themselves crazy. They're super depressed in life, and then they, you know, and they wonder why. People are lying to them. Somebody's lying to them. There's a whole generation of people that are getting paid to lie to them, who are psychologically trying to ruin this country, this nation, these people, trying to divide man and women, you know, by races, bunch of issues. But this is all psychologically created to destroy America, and the American men and women and our relationships together. Because if you can get one side, you can destroy, you know, you can destroy both.
I used to be one of those girls that was like, oh my God, I can't even imagine not having a career. What would I do all day? Just stay home and try to, like, I could never just be a stay-at-home mom. I agree. Maybe stay-at-home, too far. Stay-at-home wife? Sounds fucking lit. I can't believe I used to truly feel so empowered by being like, I would never let a man support me fully. It took me 2 years in corporate America to be like, fuck yourself, bitch. I would love if somebody came in here and just took care of me. I will wash the dishes. I will go to yoga and make my little ass even cuter for you. Baby, let's live like we're in the 50s again. That's what I fucking want. I'm over it. I am over it. No, I want somebody with money to come into this bitch. Help a girl out.
So that girl is basically like, I don't know how people don't put this together in their life. I mean, I get it. Females have like a risk to benefit reward ratio that has to be like quantified before they're, you know, before they decide to settle down or get a career or not get a career. And initially, you know, you graduate college and high school, and what do? I don't know any good guys. I don't know a perfect man that I want to settle down with right now. And honestly, women at the beginning of, you know, when they're stepping into the sexual marketplace, they don't know what they're looking for. And I'll put it like this. So growing up, I always thought about it, you know, you always hear as a young man that men mature slower than women. Women mature faster than women. And it was always kind of like a shame thing. Not precisely, but it was like, hey man, you could, you know, you can all pick up your game a little bit and try and compete on the same level as women, right? Like, get it together, right? And that's how I took it. And I was like, I get it. You know, the women my age are more mature than me. I would like to be as mature as them. You know, let's aim for something higher. But I think something needs to be admitted in society and in life, because I hear it from women all the time. The reason they choose the bad boys, the reason they choose the guys who, you know, don't call them back or treat them like trash. Okay, so if men are immature, you know, behind women at the same age in life, then women are psychologically, sexually immature in life, right? So in other words, when they go into a relationship and there's a good guy who's going to treat them like $1 million, who wants to provide for them, who, you know, wants to go to college and wants to do all the right things. He wants to make her happy. He wants to provide the house, the home, the family, you know, the white picket fence. He wants to provide all these good things for her. And instead, she chooses the piece of crap that 95% of the other women who are choosing the same guy. He knows what's up. He knows he's got game. He knows he's got the looks. He knows he's 6 feet plus. You know, he's got all the features that get women. So he just keeps casting that line, reeling them in, letting them off the hook. They keep getting disappointed and damaged, right? These girls are sexually immature in their understanding. And I think that should be said. And I think it should be said more often by women, because people need to admit it, that like, that's not a good choice of things, right? I know a girl who got pregnant, who is currently pregnant with a baby of a guy who's on YouTube, who does pranks on YouTube, and he's got his his Instagram tattooed across his face. and she's never going to talk to this guy again, and it's not going to be part of her life whatsoever. But she chose him out of all the people that she knew she could have gotten with. She's just young, and she chose the bad boy. I mean, and it's ruined the rest of her life. And why? One day she's going to look back and say, wow, I could have chose all these other good guys who were going to treat me like $1 million, but instead I chose the bad guy, the bad boy. You know, some women are ruined and wrecked by it. Some of them are ruined and wrecked over time. Some are ruined and wrecked instantaneously. Some of them are going to, discover it later in life when it all crumbles down on top of them and they psychologically can't handle the relationship. They can't handle being in love. They've got too many things on the they've got too much baggage. And what this young woman in the video is showing is like I said earlier, I don't get it. It's like that seems like the ultimate life is to be able to have someone take care of you. You have your responsibilities. You have your list of things that you do that make you feel fulfilled in the relationship with the other person, because the other person has their list of responsibilities that they need to take care of as well. They're doing their thing. You do your thing. You work it out together. You're taken care of, and you just find happiness in that. I don't know why so many people they struggle to get into jobs and careers and be independent. And it's like, dude, you work at Starbucks. You work at the bank. I know women that, they're strong, independent, never getting married, but they're in long-term relationships and, they're stacking up cash and, they're working jobs that they hate. I mean, they just hate it. Hate to show up, hate to be with people, hate to be in public, hate to be in the crowd, hate to be, front to front, job wise where you're immediately with staff and the customers, and you have to have customer service and you have to be a bright and shining personality, but you hate all of it and you hate doing it day in and day out. And it's like, so you get to be a boss of your own life, you get to stack up all this cash, but you hate everything that you're doing. You're not fulfilled. It all means nothing. And they're like, well, I don't want to be tied down because I want to travel and I want to do this and I want to have this adventure and I want to do that. And they're getting older and it's like, but you don't. Like, you're stacking this cash, you're saving away. You're not vacationing. You vacation once a year. It's for like a week and it's not that great. You come back, you're annoyed because X, Y, and Z didn't go great. It wasn't that fun, or it was fun, but now it's gone. And they've got nothing to show for it and they're miserable back in their job. And it's like, maybe you would feel fulfilled if you were doing something else with your life rather than fitting into this corporatized agenda to get, to make you feel like you're, taking care of yourself, a boss bitch who's paying for everything and she doesn't need anybody. And she's, suffering, she gets up every day to work at Starbucks and make some coffees. I'm not shitting on anybody for doing, their job, but there's some people in life who are doing this. They're being boss bitches, but they work shitty jobs and they're miserable doing it day in and day out. And eventually over the years that's going to add up. And no wonder 1 in 4 women are depressed is because they're not, fulfilled in what they're doing. They're just working jobs. They're working for someone else's agenda. Someone else has planted a seed like Inception in their brain and said, this is going to make you happy. And they're trying to make it fit. They're trying to make it work. They're trying to wake up every day and say, yes, I'm happy because I'm fulfilling this idea somebody has put in my head. But at the end of the day, they know the truth, and that's why they're on antidepressants, antipsychotics, is because they know that, like, deep down in their soul, that this is not fulfilling. This does not make me happy. Waking up to serve, grumpy old people, a shitty cup of coffee, overpriced, and if anything goes wrong, they're going to throw it in my face, What fulfillment is there in that? So I'm going to leave it there. I think we've got a long way to go as a society. I don't know. I'm trying to mend the rift between people and point out truths in these situations. I doubt it will ever help anybody, but this is my take on these videos I happen to see. So if you want to see more, check out the rest of my channel. I've got some other videos. Some of them are interesting. Some of them are not. Whatever. Take care. Bye.